who is responsible for that talent development?
Well, that's the question, right? And unfortunately, like, no one takes responsibility for it. The colleges are so focused on getting students to graduate, and the professors are focused on the individual skills that they're teaching. The career services is helping them get jobs, but not necessarily preparing them in the way that the workforce wants them to be prepared. And then the workforce, like, they're not taking responsibility for it because they're saying, hey, the schools need to be teaching students how to be professionals. I don't care if they know, deep Excel, or if they know how to write a press release. Going to my marketing experience, I just need them to know how to come into the workforce and be professional. So there's this misalignment, and Ampersand has been filling that gap with our training. We teach things like how to send a calendar invite, what to talk to your manager about on the first day of work, what to take notes on in a meeting, when to raise your hand in a meeting and when to not, what your Zoom background should look like, and and also the why. So, like, why do you need to show up to work in certain ways? Why is the conversation from the conference room to the front door of the office like actually the most important part of the meeting? And how do you insert yourself into those conversations? But again, like, the why is your manager micromanaging you in this situation? How did you show up to give them that impression that that's the relationship that they need to have? Their job is your job is to make them look good for the rest of your life. And so just some of those nuances that a lot of people just never spell out. And historically, well, no one's ever spelled them out, and it's always been hard for people to figure it out. But when we were all in person together, that you could just learn a lot of it by osmosis. You're sitting in your cube, you see things happening on the other side of the hall, and you just see when the same thing happens 10 times that that's the norm. When it's over Zoom or when it's in a hybrid environment, no one is like talking about this stuff on Teams or on Slack, like why these things are happening. And so young professionals don't learn it. Managers get frustrated that they don't understand it, but no one's actually explaining it and laying it out.
Interesting. No, and actually you're giving me a lot of thoughts. When I was in an intern program, my feeling was always that, well, you hire an intern and then just treat them like a regular employee, right? Mm-hmm. Give them real tasks, ask them to do real things. That's what they were asking me to do at IBM. But then when I look at the number of co-ops that were with me at the time, many of them just didn't actually respond to that. I did, intuitively, somehow. The rest of them, would often become copy jockeys, and it's like, we'll make some copies. I don't know what to do with you because you don't actually understand how to do the job. Right. And then I would say that there's some correlation. I think what you're doing there also is needed for even, say family life. There's a lot of things that you don't get trained on, like how to run a household and how to balance a checkbook and how to open a bank account and how to take care of yourself and all those things that you don't get trained on. But it's very similar, right?
Yeah.
So my expectation has always been like, hey, they should know this because it seems like common sense, right? What do you mean how to send a calendar invite? It's like, really? Someone needs to be trained how to do that?